All right, welcome to week 2 for English 123. We're going to be talking about just a brief overview for this week. Really, for this week, it's all about research. Lots of research. We're going to be looking at how to get into the library and really look at those sources, find your sources, find the evidence that you need to support your claim. So I wanted to kind of break down just a little bit briefly of what we're going to be dealing with this week in terms of research. But one thing I wanted to point out or encourage you is to regularly review your syllabus just to kind of get an idea of what's coming up in the future, the next few weeks. Each of these assignments kind of fold into one another. So what we've done last week folds into this week, folds into the next week. It all is a progressive building block kind of scenario for the course. That's the way it's structured. So what we've done last week as far as just establishing an argument is going to help you and direct your research as you build your works cited or your library of research. It's going to help you develop your annotated bibliography, which then will tie into your proposal, which then will inevitably tie into your final research paper. So be aware of those dates and which weeks those assignments are due. Of course, I'm going to remind you of that, but it's always good just to kind of know what's coming up in the next few weeks. But just for this week, for right now, we're going to be talking about research. So I want to kind of go over each of the assignments that we have listed here in our activities for week 2. So the first assignment, of course, is our reading. You're going to be reading through the Norton Field Guide for annotated bibliographies and reviewing scholarly research. It's always important to know that our research that we're using is scholarly, it's credible. And then we have parts 3 and 4 for they say, I say. So you want to begin with that reading assignments. Once you've finished that, there'll be some lectures for you to read, to watch, some video lectures, and then you will have your first actual assignment for this week, which is going to be a library research activity. So a library research activity is basically just kind of a mock research scenario. You're going to find 3 sources to create your own works cited page, and you at first need to choose APA or MLA. There are other styles, of course, but APA and MLA are usually the two most popular, the 2 most common. There is Chicago Tribune, that's another one, but typically MLA, APA. If you're only comfortable with MLA, you can certainly choose that, but unless you're an English major, that's really the only discipline at this point that uses MLA. I think English is the only one right now. If you're in the sciences, APA, because it's so date intensive and their documentation style is so geared towards the sciences, pretty much most of the social sciences and sciences use APA, unless your professor says otherwise, of course. But it's either APA or MLA. If you're not quite ready for APA, that's fine. You can still stick with MLA if you're more comfortable with that. But at some point, you'll need to move into APA and become familiar with it. So the sooner the better, really. But again, I leave it up to you. So once you've chosen the style you want to use, then you'll find the 3 sources that we have listed here in the assignment, and you will create a works cited page based on those 3 sources. The links that you see here, the APA style, MLA style, how to format the different book, journal, and website. Those are the 3 sources you're going to be looking for. So be sure to follow the specific instructions. Included in that, of course, is a rubric. Definitely follow the rubric. It lays out for you how this assignment is going to be graded. So write or do the assignment to the rubric. If you want an A on this assignment, look at that A column and shoot for that. Doesn't necessarily guarantee an A, of course. Grades can't be guaranteed, but at least if you're striving for that category, the excellent category, you'll know what to shoot for and what we're expecting. So That lays it out for you for that assignment. Following that is going to be the actual, an annotated bibliography pre-writing, because next week is the annotated bibliography, so this gives you a chance to pre-write for that. Since we're getting into research and the annotated bibliography is primarily a research assignment, it gets you prepared for next week. So just a brief intro to an annotated bibliography. It's really just a works cited page that includes annotations for each of the citations. So if, say, you have 10 sources you need, for each of those sources there's going to be text along with that explaining what those sources are. So say, for instance, you have Article 1 here at the top. It'll be followed by 2 paragraphs, typically 2 substantive paragraphs, full paragraphs that explain in detail, in depth, first the background contextual information regarding the author, who's published it, what university it's coming out of, what's the author's credentials, what makes them an authority or an expert in the field. If it's a research team, you want to highlight some of those individuals that are listed as authors, because there can be more than one author. So coming out of a research center, research institution, research university, what is that background about that source and where it's coming from? That builds up credibility. Then the second paragraph is the actual analysis of the source. So what is the main idea? What is the thesis? What is the argument? And then the main points that support that. How are they communicating their ideas and how are they supporting it? So 2 paragraphs, one context, the other analytical and critical. So you'll do that for each, and that's coming up next week. So the pre-writing is going to get you prepared for that. It is a journal assignment, just like the argument journal assignment we had. It's going to have 4 categories rather than 3 that you'll be writing for: considering the rhetorical situation, generating ideas and texts. The 2 new ones here are ways of organizing and annotating a bibliography, and then we have taking stock of your work. So you want to fully develop your ideas based around each of those categories. You want to show each of those categories in terms of how your ideas fit in with those categories. Okay, again, there's a rubric provided. Be sure to follow the rubric. Be sure to follow the specific instructions. The assignment isn't necessarily out of the textbook. This is just right here in the annotated bibliography pre-writing prompt. So it doesn't come out of the text. You're just using the text to express and to articulate your ideas based on your research paper. So if you have any questions about either of these assignments, be sure to address that with me and I'll further clarify if necessary. Moving on from that, we have a discussion board post which is going to be on your topic of choice. You're going to produce a substantive paragraph that's about what you might say about your topic and why, and why are you interested in this topic. You're going to present I hope your argument on that particular topic, where you're going to go with your research, what your expectations are, and then you're going to respond to 2 other students. So it's going to be 1 paragraph of your topic, and then I see here I think 2 responses to 1 response to 2 students. So it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. It's just in the discussion board portion of our Blackboard class, and so it's just presenting your ideas and then responding to the ideas of 2 other students. But then that's pretty much the extent of our work for this week. Be sure to watch the videos, and if you have any questions regarding the lectures, need any further clarification, please let me know. Just to briefly kind of go over our syllabus and highlight what's coming up in the future. So as I said, this week is research, but the annotated bibliography is coming up for week 3, proposal for week 4, and then our actual first draft after the proposal is in week 5. So this class is going to go by very quickly. We're already in the second week, week 3, week 4. Once we get to week 4, week 5, it's going to go by quick because we're really just going to be in the refining stage of our actual research paper. So again, everything is in preparation for our research paper. So there's nothing more than just this paper that we're working on. Everything is plugged into that. There's no outside busy work just to give you an assignment for an assignment's sake. It all is productive work to help you get through to the end and complete that main research paper. But that's the week in a nutshell. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And we're going to go ahead and end the video here just for the sake of time. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, and good luck on your assignments. Thank you.